here. I mean, this is great. You know, didn't mean to break up, you know, your 8th rendition of Little Wing or whatever the fuck. I saw a father-son didgeridoo duo. Didgeridoo. That's probably what the fuck they were called here. This fucking music shops of washboards and shit for bluegrass. You know how many times a day somebody's like, hey, come to my local bluegrass concert or whatever the fuck. I'm like, no, I don't want to see bad music played poorly. I don't support local music. I have a theory that if local music was good, it'd be national. That's just my general theory about anything. I don't like to support local eateries. I want everything from Cisco. That's how I want it. It's standardized. It's checked by the FDA. I've met the farmers that cook all of your beef. They're fucking out of their minds.
Forget this guy's name. What's his name?
It's not good.
Steve Brady.
Steve Brady.
Carrboro makes San Francisco look like Detroit. But not Detroit now, like RoboCop Detroit. With multicultural gangs just running around flyering things that nobody ever wants to go to. We couldn't get a CVS past like zoning, but they made a $3 million PTA shop. Does that make any fucking sense at all? No? Is it an apothecary? Of course not. Go fuck yourselves. I'm running for mayor in 2017. I spent a lot of time up in Washington, D.C., and I was up there with one of my comedy buddies. We had all day to go see stuff. And Washington, D.C. is really interesting if you take the time to go experience it. So me and my comedy buddy, he's black, that doesn't really matter, but it totally does. And so we go to the National Art Museum. And we're walking around all day in the National Art Museum. One thing that, and if you've ever been to an art museum, which I assume by your clothes and your ponytails most of you have, you know, they have that guy in the suit in each room to make sure you don't fucking like lick the paintings or whatever. So this one tastes like fruit. So anyway, so we're walking around and after like, you know, 45 minutes, my black comedy buddy goes, hey man, it's like there's no fucking black art, African American art in this entire building. And he goes to the guy that's sitting there making sure people don't like painting. He's like, hey, there's no black art in here. And he's like, yeah man, it's racist. And the whole time, for the next hour, he's like bitching about how there's no African American art in the National Art Museum. And then finally, I was like, well, technically there is. There's a shit ton of African American art here. It just happens to be on the outside of the building in spray paint. Look, they even have cameras to make sure that nobody steals your paintings. How'd you like that, mother-daughter?
That was fucked up.
All right, so thank you. I got more. But anyway, so we went to that museum, and then later that day we had a show up by the zoo, right? The National Zoo, which if you go is one of the most depressing things. Like they always show the pandas, right? And those fucking, if you see them in real time, those things are so depressed. They don't even eat eucalyptus. They're eating like skull cans from people leaving their skull cans and getting the thing. Anyway, so we're walking up and we're going to the National Zoo and we're stopped at a corner and on this pole, on a telephone pole, I see this sign and the sign just says missing bird. Her name is Dazzle. She's a loving and caring bird. Our family's devastated. Please call this number. And I thought it was a prank at first because there's no picture of the fucking bird. This lady just put up this sign expecting people, and this is why I thought it was a prank. She just wanted people wandering around DC going, Dazzle! Dazzle! And then the CDC thinks there's some kind of disease or terrorist bomb and they fucking, you know, quarantine off a whole block. Anyway, so I got a bunch of time. We're walking to the National Zoo, and she doesn't mention what kind of bird it is. There's no picture of the bird, so I see a finch. She's sitting on the sidewalk. I take a picture of the finch, and I text it to her, and I'm like, hey, I think I can help you out with your bird. I think I found your bird. Is this your bird? And she texts me back. She's like, no, that's not my bird. But doesn't say, like, no, doesn't tell me what kind of bird it is. So I keep walking, and I see a pigeon. I take a picture of the pigeon. I send it to her, and I'm like, is this your bird? She just goes, no, that's not my bird. And then we get to the zoo where there's real fucking birds and shit, right? So I go to the vulture exhibit, and I take a picture of a vulture. And I'm like, is this your bird? She goes, no, that's not my bird. And then I go over to the bald eagle exhibit. And this is where she gets set the fuck off. Because I took a picture of not a real bald eagle, but the bronze statue of a bald eagle in front of the thing. And I sent it to her, and I'm like, is this your bird? And then she just goes, that's a fucking bald eagle, man. Are you